Hello, good morning. Welcome to a beautiful sunny morning here in Goddard. I'm here in my lair on West Street in my reading room getting ready for a day of connections, remotely of course. Very excited to be opening the doors to properly social distance visitors next week, and looking forward to seeing some people in person back in my reading room. Won't be as huggy as usual. We'll be honoring that and doing our thing, but that's exciting for me. So we're here today because I said I was going to do another little session on how to get a reading, things to watch for, ways to kind of bring yourself in a more open way. No matter who the psychic is, be kind of open to whatever comes through, and give it time too. Give them time to get connected to your energy. Everything in there just isn't automatic like that. So I was thinking today, and I was talking to an intuitive friend recently about, she asked me how many people I'd actually had in my life or in my career that I couldn't read. And my first answer, of course, was 0, because we're readers of energy. If we can read one, we can read another. It's just how that works. People's energy doesn't actually change that. There's just what they'll admit to and what they won't. So a mechanic can't suddenly just not fix a pair of brakes, and a dentist just suddenly, I can't do that person's root canal because their energy's so strong. No. So I said none, but I've had 3 people tell me that I couldn't read them, who just were like, funny, you couldn't read me. And, I just want to say, that's too bad, because you just paid me to sit there and kind of and say, it's like you have this invisible force field that you want me to think that you have, like you're too strong for that. Kind of like people are like, you couldn't hypnotize me. Yeah, that means you're just using the left hemisphere of your brain. So it's kind of funny. So I make fun, but I want to clarify this for some of you. All of you out there going to psychics for readings, yes, some of them are going to blow your freaking mind, and you're going to feel connected and float out like you are in another world. And some of them you'll leave going, what was all that information? And I didn't really feel a connection. And I think they couldn't read me. Number one, you are throwing away all the information they did give you. All that information is generally valid, whether you think, again, it was the information you wanted to come through or not, or whether it was about the things that you assumed might be talked about. Remember, this is real-time Earth going on here. This is real moving energy with free will outside of our concepts of order. So the number one thing, again, to remember is to not expect more logic in a psychic reading than you will get on Earth. That's the thing to remember. So I don't want you to miss the gift in the readings that you go to that don't seem to mean as much. And here's the thing. I have people who come back to me over and over for readings, and even they notice that some of the readings with me are out of the ballpark, and some of them are like, like a little bit of like, this might go on, that might go on. That's how it works. So don't lose your gift because of that. So the next thing is, one of the things that leads to that is what I call, I love this term, cosmic fluff. It's information that comes in readings that doesn't make any sense to the person who's getting the reading. It not only can be not make sense or not fit anywhere, but it can be absolutely ridiculous, like not even doesn't make sense, but is illogical, incongruent, doesn't match with anything, makes 0 sense. And I'm going to tell you today what that stuff is, why it's so valuable, and why, again, if you leave that psychic and like, they didn't read me, they may have given you 8 really important clues to your future. And you're just not seeing that that's what it is. So remember, the general rule when you go to a psychic, they can all see something about you. You have a station. You get what's playing. That's how that's going to work. But they're all going to see different things. Like a neurologist will look here and a gynecologist will look down here. They're both there to keep you alive. They're both kind of there to take care of you. But so as we kind of move forward with this, I just want to describe what cosmic fluff is. It all has to do with your quantum field of probability. So as a lot of you know, I'm a medium, so there's always some people kicking around, but I can specialize really strongly. I can focus in on reading things as they are, reading living people, circumstances, work, and prognostication, which is much like meteorology. You're just looking at the current energetic conditions of existence and watching the most likely space that they're moving into, the most likely probabilities. But let's talk about this quantum field for a minute, because this is where all your cosmic fluff comes from in a reading. Basically, if I am looking at your future, anyone is looking at the future, let's imagine you can see your future and you're standing there and it's a physical thing. So what does it actually look like? So anyone who's old enough will remember kind of the Matrix movies and all of the kind of wild kind of programs. So I want you to imagine there's this Matrix-like program in front of you and you just have rows of photograph negatives all lined up. That's what they are, just rows of outlines, rows of photograph negatives. You can also imagine a film reel all pulled out. So what these all represent is like this holographic outline of a probability or a possibility. So just think of a menu in a restaurant at the minute you're walking in. You're walking in. This is what's available. Here's the outline of what's going to be in front of you and what you get to choose from. You are using your free will. That's never in doubt, and it's never in doubt in your life. You can imagine you can't use your free will. That's a whole other video. But you are using your free will, and that's how this field of probability works. All the outlines are there. When you get up at 10 and you decide, I'm wearing the yellow shirt instead of the pink one, you have filled in that space in that outline of your reality. So you are working in this quantum field constantly and almost pulling these outlines toward you by making decisions about things in the future. The minute we book a trip 2 years down the road, that time slot becomes filled and it's like that picture starts moving forward. So we have the slides that we know about. I'm going here at 4 o'clock tomorrow. I'm going there at 6 o'clock tomorrow. We have these slides that we know about, but how much information in these quantum outlines do we really know? So for example, when people are coming for a reading, people that have maybe never been here before, even people who were, they know where they're coming and what for and my name, and they have a fair bit of detail. They don't know there's going to be pink carnations or yellow paint on the walls or nice pink blanket or big tall, like they don't know all of those details. We don't. Now, if you've ever been getting ready to go to a wedding or go on a trip or somewhere you've never been, you'll notice that about a week before it's time to go, your brain starts to try to construct an image of what it might look like. And for some of us, it starts to construct that image right away, like the minute we plan to go somewhere. I even have concepts of what areas in the world will look like when I get there, places I've never been. So your brain is working within this field of probability, and it's also seeing things from it. It's kind of a chicken and an egg scenario. So ultimately, that's where cosmic fluff starts to come in. And every psychic in every movie, you've heard it, right? Follow this, follow that, watch for the blue butterfly, watch for the skeleton keys, watch for the white crystals. All that really cool, again, Harry Potter meets the Da Vinci Code. That's really how this stuff works. Because all of these are real things that will be around you in these random backgrounds. And so because the universe works on divine timing as opposed to logic, when I'm in a reading and they want me to see anything out in this field of probability, I'm going to see that stuff behind you. They're going to show it to me on purpose. Then I'm going to say to you, I see you moving around the time you see this and this and this, and I might see balloons or fireworks or colored leaves or a black cat or a car in your laneway. Random stuff. Doesn't mean anything to you, except it's behind you in that moment when that's about to happen. So it's like a scavenger hunt list that you are given during a reading, not only kind of from the universe or just this quantum field that I'm viewing, but your loved ones have access to this. That's an interesting thing to think about. Grandma and Grandpa who have been passed over for 10 years, they can look at this quantum field of probability and know where you will be sitting at your anniversary dinner, or at Christmas, or at a moment where you're going to find out maybe some bad news or some good news. And they will utilize that in a reading. They will utilize that. And there is your cosmic fluff. There is why I might say, follow the white rabbit, follow the blue butterfly, follow this, follow that. It's a scavenger hunt list, and it's real. And these are things you need to watch for. So if you've ever had the cardinal, the dimes, the feathers, the 1111, all of those synchronistic things that we're talking about, and we can just call them patterns, because that's how the universe activates areas of the right hemisphere of our brain, our psychic free brain. They start to get us to notice patterns. If you've had all of that happen, then that's all this is. You just need to know that your symbols are based on your random surroundings in the future. And that's why they don't have to mean anything to you. They don't have to be logical to you at all. How many people who find dimes are like, oh yeah, dimes are my favorite coin? No, dimes are what works. And so they will use that. Now, when it's your loved ones, when we're sitting in a reading, or your loved ones are even like kind of looking out at the next little while in your future, and they pick a moment that they want to let you know they're there, guess what they can't do at all? They can't choose anything logical, rational, reasonable, anything that's going to be around you anyway. So they won't tell you to watch for cake on your birthday. They won't tell you to watch for jack-o'-lantern around Halloween to know they're there. Hey, when you see the robins in the spring, you'll know I'm there. Doesn't work. Doesn't get through what it is that they need to do. What they will do is bring up something that will get your attention. And what's that going to be? Something that just may not fit. Something that is illogical. Like seeing a Christmas ornament in the middle of July on a table at a flea market. That's the kind of stuff that they're going to try to tell you. Watch for these strange things, because for them to let you know that it's them directly, it has to stand out. We're supposed to be rational. No self-respecting psychic or spirit would ever be like, oh, hey, when you see an angel Christmas Day, you'll know I'm there. No, it's too rational and it doesn't work. They want to step up their game. So that is cosmic fluff. And back to what I said before about, oh, you can't read me, those people. Nope, you just didn't understand the process. That's actually just how it works. And then what I just described about cosmic fluff, just one tiny piece. I have videos until the cows come home about how more of this stuff works. So it's important. And you should, even if you've had a reading that you kind of dismissed with anyone, right now you ought to be going back and thinking, all right, what exactly was in there? And always go back through your readings afterward too. Always, 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 because guess what? Stuff happens 6 months later, a year later. So there are my hot tips for today. I have to get rolling. I have to start work soon. I just wanted to say hi to everybody, give you a little more insight on that. Hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll talk to you again probably over the weekend. But no promises, because it's definitely the weekend coming. So I'll talk to you later.